Multi-tiered systems of support fall under Turnaround Practice 3, Student-Specific Supports and Instruction, which is research-based guidance that has been shown to effectively turn around underperforming schools in Massachusetts. Grew Elementary is a turnaround school that has implemented a strong system of multi-tiered supports. The Massachusetts tiered system of support identifies 3 major drivers for building a strong system of tiered supports. Leadership drivers include responding to adaptive issues, such as removing barriers and building consensus paired with technical support, such as finding time and resources. Competency drivers revolve around building educator capacity to affect positive student outcomes. And implementation drivers are designed by facilitative administrators to create organizational systems and support system interventions.
When you come into a building and you have a significant number of students that are falling below benchmarks, you can't rely on Tier 2 or Tier 3 instruction at that point. You have to realize that Tier 1 is where you need to start. To be able to improve core instruction across all areas in the building, you really have to create systems and teams that can work together to be a part of that improvement process. So we've had 4 different leadership teams in the building that work together on different components to ensure that students are growing academically, social emotionally, behaviorally, and just overall to create happy and engaged learners. The instructional leadership team is really responsible to think about improving teaching and learning, so the instruction really around Tier 1, and then considering to support others with Tier 2 interventions.
And we'll talk about, as an ILT, what needs to be done either for specific students or at specific grade levels. We'll generally do some kind of inquiry cycle where we'll implement some kind of intervention for students over a period of 6 to 8 weeks, collect data again at the end of that inquiry cycle, and bring it back to ILT to see what kind of progress was made.
So we take a look when we do our universal screening at where students are. We look at what students may have certain needs that the core curriculum will address, and we take a look at which students who might need more support. Are they actually moving tiers when we rescreen them? Are they moving up? Are they making progress? Are they stagnating? And we can do progress screeners throughout.
Remember, eyes on the words. Get ready for your pointing finger. Let's read together. Go.
Jack, look, and look for tackle.
We've created spaces for flexible scheduling where students' needs come first. So for example, we do some progress monitoring and we have a group who's in need of Tier 2 extra dose of something. We will flip people's schedules. We have a lot of professional development time here. With that professional learning opportunity comes observations, peer observations, debriefs, teams going in and looking in a classroom. And so that rapidly creates a coherent Tier 1 experience.
So right from when we first started as a Year 1 turnaround school, we had the August Professional Development Week, and developing that common language of like what high quality instruction looks like was huge for launching the start of like the turnaround process. There was this cycle of launching it, trying it, learning more about it, having peer observations with our instructional foci, and cycling back to measure its effectiveness within our common planning times.
We started to also think we needed to do some Tier 2 work. We started with some guided reading instruction and some other small group instruction that would help our students who were in most need at the time. We then really needed to consider our Tier 3 work, and that took a little bit of figuring out the assets of each of our individuals in the building. And then we were able to tap into each other's knowledge and to ensure that all of the people are in the building are responsible for working on moving all children forward. That was part of the evolution of our MTSS, where we had more clear Tier 3 supports, more clear Tier 2 supports, and more clear Tier 1 expectations.
Our first year, we really were focused on the Tier 1 and thinking about what we need academically. And then it moved into thinking about, okay, what do we need now Tier 1 social emotionally? And so we started our second year with the CBHM team.
Our team, the Comprehensive Behavioral Health Model team, we are looking at student behavior and how do we teach typical or normative behaviors that would assist students in becoming good learners, having the social skills they need to develop and change.
There is the student support team, which is really geared toward planning the Tier 3 supports for students who may need them. So that's more of a targeted, individualized team that brings families and students to the table and other teachers and support people to come up with a strong Tier 3 intervention plan for a student.
The student support team is sort of divided into two levels. There's the grade level SST, which is, as it sounds, it's the grade level team getting together on a weekly basis. And then there's the whole school SST, which is made up of team members from across grades and across disciplines.
At grade level student support team, the classroom teachers work together on grade levels and identify a student who may be struggling in a certain area. They would create a plan during their common planning time, identify what the needs are of a student, and come up with a plan to intervene either academically or socially for 6 weeks. And hopefully the student would have made progress through this plan and there would be no need to go to school-wide student support.
And when a child is brought to the whole school student support team, the parents are called and they're invited to come in, and we come up with a team plan.
Good morning, friends. What number are you? What do you mean?
I think the family and community team is meant to, it's a group of people that's meant to think more critically about how, as a school, we can engage the larger community, that be students, parents, our partners in the community as well. So for example, one event that we have every year is a student growth celebration, and it takes place at the midpoint of the year. And we inform families about the progress that students have made over the course of the year, school-wide, class-wide, but also individually, so that families are really able to understand this is where my student began at the very beginning, and this is where they are now, and also where they're heading and where they should be at this point of the year.
We've been capturing kind of who is going where and when to progress monitor and make sure we're tracking to see that students aren't stuck in a certain tier for the whole year. We should be making the right moves and making the right adjustments by looking at the data to make sure that they're not stuck in some space. And so we've come to this place now in year 3 where our systems, our structures are set up to support using the data effectively and knowing where to find the right supports for what the data tells us.